What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Base Damage. Hope you're having a wonderful and fabulous day today. Today we're going to be over on Heart of the Cards, taking a look at the Revue Starlight movie booster set that we are confirmed getting for English. We're going to be getting it about, I want to say it was September 29th or 30th. I think it's the 29th. And I already went over the Relive set, which is more based off of the game. The movie set is more based off of the anime and really only focuses on the girls from the first set. So from what I've been told, none of the extra girls from Relive that were in the game are going to be in this in any capacity. So we're going to see how much this kind of upgrades the cards from the first set, as well as what little bit we got of the girls from the Relive set as well. But let's jump right into this. There's going to be a lot of talking for me for this set. So I need to go ahead and start right the fuck now. Obviously, I know Kaoruko. And also, this is like a 100-card set. I glanced at it earlier. There's a ton of, I think these are promos down here. Because after 100, there's like a whole bunch of these just alternating colors for each of the different girls. I think these are all promos. Don't hold me to that. But let's just immediately start. How many yellows are there? There are 23 yellow. Okay. Obviously, we're starting off with Bananice. Nana Daiba to the stage beyond the rerun. It's a 102k. For each of your other Revue characters in the front row, this gains 1500 power. So she only becomes a 5k. Okay. When this attacks, if Massacre Revue is in your climax zone, choose one of the following two effects and perform it. Choose a Revue character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. And also, if you have 4 or more other Revue characters, choose a character in waiting room, return it to your hand, and this gains 2k power. So, I mean, obviously you would play I guess it's just there just in case you don't have like a full field. You can still salvage back something, but if you have a full field, you can salvage back something and gain a bigger buff. I guess we're going to take a quick look at whatever Massacre Revue is. Let's just go ahead and look at all of the climax. Okay, I was looking for climax over here. Thank you, Heart of the Cards, for putting Massacre Revue as a character. I'm like, wait, I don't see it. Okay, so I'm assuming that's going to be the last 3. Okay. So it is a choice trigger with her holding a knife. That's very ominous. The Waiting for You is a choice trigger, and a shot trigger for Flower Blooming Anger. Okay. So on a choice, which is 1k1, it'll be a 6k if you have assuming you have a full field. She's going to be 5k by her own power, 6k by the climax, and then an extra 2k making her 8k, and she doesn't have to reverse or anything. She just salvages in general. So, okay, kind of not though. I want to say something positive about it, but I'm not too terribly certain. It could be better. I'm just going to say that. Because if your opponent's able to somehow get rid of any one of the other cards on your center stage, like a memory kick or something, she's just gone. She just doesn't do anything after that. So, to which you don't have a full field anymore. You can't get the buff off unless you like swing with her first, whatever. The second card, Kaoruko Hanayagi, Flower Blossoms Decorating the Path. It's a 327k. If you have 2 or fewer climaxes in your waiting room, this gets -a level in hand. And memory, if Futaba Isurugi, My Shine, is in your memory. Now, before I continue, I don't remember any of the card names from the first set. I'm assuming any cards like this are probably going to be in this set alone. Even though I know this supports all of the cards from the girls from the original anime, I don't know if it says a particular card name and I don't recognize it from the first set, please do not hate. It's been literally years since I fucking looked at that set, so if it's in your memory, this gains 4k power, and the following ability that on direct attack, you can choose a Revue character in waiting room, put it into your stock. So it should be a constant 11k, which is kind of nice. And placed on stage from hand, heal 1. Okay. Nana Daiba, Stage Girl on screen, 002k. When this is placed on stage from hand, put the top 2 cards of your library into the waiting room. If there was at least one climax, this gains +2 soul for the turn. So the mill is mandatory. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can pay 1. Put the top card of your library in your clock. If you do choose a level 1 or lower character in your waiting room, return it to your hand. Okay. Kaoruko Hanayagi, stage girl on screen, 0025. When this becomes reversed in battle, you may reveal the top up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. If you reveal one card this way, at least one card this way, choose one Revue character amongst them, put it in your hand, put the rest in the waiting room, and then discard 1 card. Okay. Kaoruko Hanayagi, where I read that as where are we going? No, where we are going. It means something different, but out of my brain. 0035, you can't play events or backups from hand. And when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may put that character in your opponent's stock, and if you do, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock in the waiting room. Some neat little removal. Okay, so I've already lost my spot. That was yeah. Where are we going? So hunting Revue. Where are these women going? They're going down Wagamama Highway. Wagamama. I don't know why that caught me off guard. Giraffe is back. That's so funny. Fuck it. We're just going to try to pump up as many of these cards as possible. I'm skipping like every other one that's like supposed to be the alternate arts or foils or some shit. God, there's so many fucking cards. I need to do what I used to do and just like fucking split it up by color. But whatever. Apologies if you hear the rain in the background. It's kind of pouring down. Nanadaiba hunting Revue 213k. Level 3 or higher characters in front gain 2k power. Rest this. Choose one of your Juna Hoshimi green light. Like red light, green light type thing. I don't know. And that character gains 1500 power for the turn. There's no marker under that character. You get to pick a Revue character from your waiting room and put it face up under that character as a marker. So, marker shenanigans for Juna. I don't remember that being in the first set in any capacity, but that's whatever. Nanadaiba, where are we going? 3-2, 9k. You have 2 or more other Revue characters. This gains 1500 power, making her a 10-5, and the following 2 abilities. When this attacks, you can twin drive. You can pay a stock to trigger check twice. And when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may send that character to your memory. Very interesting card. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a card and heal the top card of your clock to your stock. This does like everything you want it to do. Okay. This is actually interesting. Healer, removal, twin drive, buffed. Like, okay. It just, oh, that was kind of cool. We got a climax combo here. Kaoruko Wagamama Highway. It's a rare. It's a 3/2 10k. When this is placed from hand to stage, look up to 3 cards on the top of your deck. Add 1 of them to hand. Climax combo, when waiting for you, which was the another choice trigger. Trying to remember. If it's in your climax area, if this is in the front row, you can pay 2, pitch 2. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent and deal 2 damage to your opponent. Okay. It's solid. It doesn't heal, but you get to dig for the combo and dig for cards to pitch for the effect. This could be very interesting because you got to think of how this is going to be coming in. If it's a choice trigger, it's going to be burn 1, burn 2, then her damage of 3. So 1, 2, 3 right there. So possibly some damage that may stick. Here's hoping. Nanadaiba, words left behind. 00500. On play, all of your opponent's front row characters get -5. And on attack, you get to give a buff to somebody. Okay. Giraffe, enchanted by the stage girls. I'm gonna take a second here. Why the fuck was there a giraffe in the show? It was just so fun, just randomly in the first episode. I remember when the anime started, when I first saw the anime, like way before it was ever in Weiss. And I just happened to look at it one day and I'm like, first episode, giraffe. What the fuck is this doing here? Anyway. It has the Revue trait, so it is a mystery, that's for damn sure. When this is placed on stage, to stage from hand, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, put them back on top of the library in the original order. I'm seeing Gil Thunder here. When your opponent's climax is placed in the climax zone, you can put this into your stock. Okay. This could be a very interesting card depending on what you need to top check. Nanadaiba, Dancing Blade, 103k. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay the cost, which is pay 1, pitch 1. If you do, choose a Revue character in your waiting room, return it to your hand, and then choose one of your other Revue characters. Gains 1,000 power for the turn. So just straight up able to get what you need, and it's a cost 0 stock bomb. Okay, interesting. Haruko breaking up. Oh no, we can't have girls breaking up in our Yuri anime. So 105k. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, pitch 1, choose one of your opponent's characters, return it to the hand. Is that worth it? I don't know. That's just me. There are no spin triggers in here. There was a shot trigger. So, Kaoruko Grudge Revue. She mad. Speaking of shot triggers, 216k. Oh, cool. If Flower Blooming Anger is in your climax zone, this gains the shot trigger while in any zone. During your turn, for each of your other Revue characters, she gains an extra 15 power. So, each other math. So, 2 would be 3k, 4 would be 6k. So, she's going to be a 12k? When this attacks, if Flower Blooming Anger is in your climax zone and you have 4 or more other Revue characters, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent. So this is kind of interesting in the fact of, with the shot trigger, she's going to be sitting at 13k before anything else. It's only during your turn. On your opponent's turn, this is like shite-tastic in terms of defense. She's only going to be 6k. But if you really need to get over something and then like just push like for little increments of damage, because it's going to be like burn 1, poke 2, burn 1, poke 2 if you have like multiples of these. I could do something with this. I think it's funny, but there's also only like the 1 shot trigger. So it just kind of depends on what else you pair it with. I don't know. Kaoruko, for your sake 2, ... 00500. This can't side. If there's 2 or fewer cards in your memory, choose one of the when it's played, if you have 2 or fewer cards in memory, choose one of the following 2 effects and perform it to put a Futaba into your memory from waiting room or from the deck. You just straight up get to pick waiting room or deck and put that specific Futaba that needs to be in memory for one of your other cards into the from library or waiting room to memory. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, pitch 1, salvage. Okay. So, which, to be fair, this putting something into the memory is for free. So that's kind of interesting. And you can do some compression if you do it from if you send it from the deck. That's neat. Nana Daiba. Now's the time to walk down from the tower. Okay. 001k. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a Revue, search your deck for a specific Nana Daiba Precious Time, add it to hand. Choose up to 1 Revue character in your hand. Oh, it's an act. Pay 1, sack this to summon a Revue from your hand whose level is equal to or lower than your level. I mean, you could cheese out like a level 3 for cheap, I guess. I don't know. Okay. There's a lot of Nana for this. On the Speeding Train. It's a 1k. It's a 1065. It can't side attack, and when it becomes reversed in battle, if you have 1 or fewer other Revue characters, put this into your clock. That should never be an issue. You should have plenty of characters on the field, so this should never go to your like clock. Okay. Haruko Real Self is a 1135. During your turn, this gains 2k, and if the cost of the character opposite this is 0 or lower, this does not reverse. Could be very useful. Just very weak defensively, that's the only thing. But I mean, obviously, if your opponent is 0 or lower, it doesn't matter. But Kaoruko Flower at the Parlor. I was about to say Flower at the Power. It's the 2500 backup. Oh, okay. On play, you get to pay an extra stock to grab it back from waiting room, so you just can recycle it. Nana Daiba 217k with Alarm. During your turn, if you have 2 or more other Revues, this gains 4k. And if this is on top of the clock and you have a Revue character at the start of your climax phase, choose one of your characters and it gains the following ability. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put that character into stock, and if so, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock into a waiting room. So just need a little bit of removal. Okay. To the Beautiful You is a 2-1 event. They about to kiss. Oh, she got a camera. Anyway. Choose up to 4 of your opponent's characters and send them to memory. You shuffle those characters face down and put them in separate empty slots on the stage face down, then turn those characters face up. It just makes me think of and it might be the same exact effect, but it makes me think of Shuffle Time from Persona. For anybody who remembers Shuffle Time from like Persona 3 or 4 or whatever the fuck. I I think this, like, it just gives me the same kind of vibe, but I remember there was a Shuffle Time card in the Persona 3 set, if I remember correctly, but we didn't get it. So this is what it makes me think of. It's just kind of funny. That's it for the yellows. Let's get to the greens and roll on. See, there's the green light. So we got to remember that specific one. So we have a bunch of that are like, where are we going? Stage girl on screen, hunting Revue. What did I just click? Stage girl. Wait, wasn't Juna blue? Why is she green in this? I thought Juna was blue in the first set. And the fucking Relive set, to be completely fair. If you can't perform on stage, isn't it stage with me? Is that like a mistranslation or something? I don't know. All right. I'm just clicking everything. We get some clicking ASMR for everybody who likes that. You're welcome. You cry more, more, more. That's all I can say. Okay, once again, the climaxes do not say climax here. They say character. Come on, Heart of the Cards. Should be the last three right here. The stage where I am the main cast is a gold bar, once again with Juna. Stage of You and I, which is Hikari and Mahiru? Hikari is typically red, and Mahiru is typically yellow. So, okay. And I don't know who the fuck those are. Another gold bar. So, plenty of gold bars up in this bish. So, yeah, once again, Mahiru. Okay, to be fair, I think in the first set there was no green. I think it was just red, yellow, and blue. I think there was no green whatsoever in the very first set. So they spread it out to make certain you could have all four colors. Like it was necessary? I don't fucking know. Mahiru, live on the stage, 0015. If there are 3 or fewer cards in your stock, it gains 1,000. When this is placed on stage from hand, pay 1, put the top card of your library into your clock, search your deck for a level 1 or lower character, add it to hand. Okay. The what people refer to as the Riki clone. Oh, that art looks cool for Juna. Juna's one of my favorites from this. Juna Hoshimi, green light. 3-2. This worked specifically with... it was one of the other cards. If you have 4 or more Revue, this gets minus a level in hand. For each marker, it gains 1,000. Oh yeah, it was the thing that gave this markers. When this attacks, you may choose a character in your waiting room and put it face up underneath this as a marker. And then Climax combo. At the end of this card's attack, you can pay 2, pitch all markers from under this in the waiting room. And if so, perform the following action X times. Deal 1 damage to your opponent. X is equal to the number of markers in the waiting room for the cost of this ability. Okay, cool. You just stock up on markers like a mug. Oh, true. So you could early play her and start getting a whole bunch of markers. Assuming it takes you at least a turn or 2, but there was also that other card that lets you put more markers underneath her. So you can try to get as many stocked up as possible. And then it's really easy to just pay 2 and then burn like a whole bunch of times. I don't know how effective that would be, but I understand the goal there. So, Juna hunting Revue is a 002K. At the start of your opponent's draw phase, put the top 2 cards of your deck in the grave. The waiting room. If there's at least 1 level 2 or higher card amongst them, you can bounce this back to hand. Okay. Lots of Juna, thank you. Stage girl on screen, 0025. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, pitch a climax to salvage back a climax, which was many gold bars as I saw. Very easy to do. Juna, where are we going? 1035. If you have another Juna Hoshimi, my own star. That, I think, was a Juna from the first set. Don't hold me to that. This gains 3k power. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you may put the top card of your opponent's clock into the waiting room and put that character in the clock. So it has built-in removal. I think that's my own star. Like I say, it's just weird to see these as different colors than what I was used to seeing them. Because it was like I said, in the first one, it was like 3 girls to a color. So, I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. I'm going to scroll down to blue, because I don't remember seeing Mahiru. Well, one, Hikari is... is blue in this one, so that feels weird. You still have Maya, and what was the other girl? There was a Maya and someone else that was blue in the first set. Claudine Saija. So they swapped. I think they were partners. I think, like, I don't know. I do not know. 1-1 4K. Level assist for your reviews. When you use Accelerate and you have 4 or more cards in your clock, you may pay cost. I would say, so if you clock yourself to 4, you can do this, or if you are higher. Pay a stock, put the top card of your clock in the waiting room. Oh, it lets you mitigate a little bit of the Accelerate. When your character's trigger check reveals a gold bar, you can discard a card to do some clock swap shenanigans. Okay. I'm going to have to speed up through this. I'm sorry. Mahiru, stage girl on screen. 2,500 backup. You can discard a card to choose one of your Revue characters and return it to your hand when you use the backup. Interesting. If you can't perform on stage, I think that means you have ED. 3-9K. During your turn, if you have another Revue character, this gains 2,500 power and a anti-run effect at level 3. Okay. Heal on play, and with battle opponent becomes reversed. If stage of you and I is in your climax zone, you can pay 1 stock, put that character into the clock, and put the top card of your opponent's library. Look at the top card of your opponent's library, and then put it on top or bottom. Okay. So typical clock shoot doesn't feel like the most powerful in the world, but it's okay. Mahiru isn't staged with me. If your other Mahiru, specific name Mahiru, is placed on stage, you can top check and rearrange them. Start of your opponent's climax phase. You can accelerate, which is specifically a Revue from waiting room to clock. And this gains +1 level of 1,500 power. And at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can move this to an empty slot in your front row that has an opponent's character opposite it. Oh yeah, because you do this at the start of your opponent's climax phase. Okay, cool. You can accelerate on your opponent's turn. Interesting. Straightforward feelings. Isn't that a quintuplets card? I think that's a quintuplets card. Anyway, 1-0-45. During your turn, this gains 1,000. And on attack, you can give a buff to somebody. Juna, 1-1, unyielding. When you use the backup of this, if all of your characters are Revue, you can put the top card of your library into your stock. And it's a 2K backup. I thought I was looking at the same card for a second. I'm like, wait, did I double tap? Then I realized it was a different card art, but just barely. 2-1, 3K. During your turn, this gains 10K power. When a level 2 or higher battle opponent becomes reversed, you can put the top card of your library into your stock. Juna, currently incomplete script. She looks so sad. When your other Revue character is placed on stage from hand, you may look at the top card of your deck, and you put it back where it was. Just top check. Rest this to give a character 15. Okay, cool. I think I've watched the movie now that I think about it. I need to watch that. Juna Hoshimi until the new stage, 0-0-15. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your opponent's characters until the end of your opponent's next turn. It gains the ability it can't move to another slot. You can discard a card and sack this to salvage back a Revue. Okay. Mahiru Cheering gains 1,500 power for the turn, making it 35. Placed on stage from hand, you can discard a Revue to search for an event, which I saw this earlier. Specially made gold medal. Gold medal, so is this like the Theater Olympics or something? Well, I say that, but then I see boxing here. Just Mahiru Tsuyuzaki, just her name. Well, okay, there's probably more, because that's a long-ass fucking thing right there for the name, which I think is more than just her name, so whatever. 1-0-45. When this attacks, if battling performance Revue is in the climax area and you have another Revue, top check if it's a Revue or the event, add it to hand, and this gains 2K power for the turn. And it has accelerate at the start of your climax phase, Revue from waiting room to clock. If you have another Revue character, okay, if you do, choose a level 0 or lower character waiting room, put it on any slot of the stage, and this gains 500 power for the turn. If you need like a specific level 0, like a Brainstormer for the next turn, could be understandable. Preparation for the Visitation, the 2-1, Placed on stage from hand, put the top 3 of your library into waiting room. If there's at least a climax, you can bounce back a level 3 or lower character your opponent has. And it is a anti-change reverser, specifically a clock bomb anti. Juno Hoshimi, Overwhelming Presence, 2/1. When your climax is placed in the climax zone, choose one of your characters. It gains 4k power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Okay, fairly sizable. Interesting. Okay, you may choose a face-up card in your opponent's memory. Turn it face down. If so, at the end of your turn, turn that card face up. Like, if they have a card or something, if you had effects that gave a buff or something for cards being in memory, you could negate that for a turn. Ugh. That would only be if you had specific names, because a lot of cards will just say if you have 2 or more cards in memory. It doesn't, it has to be very specific for this effect to work, because if it's just counting number, putting it face down doesn't change the number, so, I don't know. More. 2/1. Rest one of your standing Revues, choose one of your opponent's characters, move it to another empty slot on their stage, choose a Revue character waiting room, return it to your hand. Okay. Specially made gold medal. It's a 2/1. You have 2 or fewer Revue characters, you cannot play this from hand. Choose up to 1. Run Hikari Kagura in your hand to put it on any slot of the stage. So all that is to summon a specific Hikari, which is now blue. So, okay, cool. Red, let's go jump right into it. It does feel really weird to see. Like I said, I may be misremembering. Wagamama is back. I may be misremembering, but I could have sworn that there were specific girls in specific colors, and I'm fairly certain I'm correct on that. But we are going to see, where are we going? I had to pause for a second, so I went ahead and opened up every other tab. So we have, the climaxes are I Am Reborn, the Salvage, Keeping You Waiting, which is a standby, which there was no standby in set 1. And Beautiful Finale, which is a +2 soul. Hell yeah, shoutouts to Ayame. Let's start with the red. Futaba Isurugi, Flower Blossoms Decorating the Path. It's a 5 or more cards in hand, gains 2k, and it's a, you may run at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase. So, pretty good double rare, that's for sure. Claudine Saijo, we are dash together. We are together. It just sounds like a, I can't remember the dude's name. 3/2, 9k. Let's place on stage from hand. Draw 1 card. Look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and put them on top of your deck in any order. Once again, just the top checking for stuff. When this attacks, if you have another Revue character, this gains 3k power for the turn. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, pay 2, pitch 2, deal 3 damage to your opponent. Okay. I want to be more impressed. Impress me, Karin. To the next stage and to the next roll. 3/2, 10k. When this is placed from hand to stage, or the ability of Hikari Reunion to the stage, you may put the top card of your deck into the top card of your clock into waiting room. When this attacks, if the salvage trigger, I Am Reborn, is in your climax zone, you can pay 1 and discard 1. If you do, choose one of the following 2 effects and perform it. Either look at up to 3 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, choose up to 3 of them and put them into your waiting room, return the rest of your library, and then gain 3k power for the turn, or burn for 2. You get to look at up to 3, and if you see any climaxes, get them out of there. Okay. I'm totally down for that. Claudine, Stage Girl on screen. We have a 001k. Front Row Cinder gets 500, and a Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this to salvage. Rival, Claudine Saijo, is a 1/0. Oh, was this off the standby? Oh, yeah, no, Beautiful Finale was the +2. When the +2 soul is placed in your climax zone, if this is in your front row and you have another Revue character, choose one of the following 2 effects. Either add back a specific Claudine Sweet Words of the Devil Okay. Not in this Christian household, young lady. Return it to your hand or search that same one from the deck to hand. And on attack, if you have another Revue character, this gains X power for the turn. X is equal to 1,000 times the soul of this card. So because you're probably swinging when this has the +2 soul in effect, she would gain +3k. Oh, sorry. Sorry for the yawning. Futabo, Wagamama. Highway is a 1055. If you don't have another Revue, it doesn't stand. And I think this is off of the standby. When this attacks, if you have 2 or more other Revue characters, you can discard a card and sack the climax. You search your deck for up to 2 Revue characters and add them to your hand. Very interesting. Okay, that one actually is kind of cool. I do like that one. Karin, Stage Girl on screen, 2/145. When your other Revue character is placed on stage from hand, that character gets 1,000 power for the turn. So just in general, it doesn't limit itself like a certain number of times. You can just, everything gets a free buff. Okay. Rest this, look it up to the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and put them on the top of the library in any order. Okay. Karin Ijo Reunion is a 2/1. This also combos with the salvage. On attack, if the opponent is level 3 or higher, or if the character is level 3 or higher, this gains 6k. And when this attacks, if you have the salvage in play, choose up to 1 Revue character in your waiting room, put it into your stock, reveal the top card of your deck if it's a Revue or Reborn Train. I'm just getting flashbacks to Home Tutor, Hitman Reborn. And put it into your hand. Okay. Pretty cool advantage engine on that. Okay, so we have the level 2 target for standby. Stage Girl on screen. For each of your other Revues, this gains 1,000 and a character encore. So really classic, like 10-5 with character encore. That's pretty cool. Futaba, where are we going? 3/2. 2k assist in front, heal on play. Discard a card, rest this. If you have a Kaoruko My Shine, choose a Revue character waiting and return it to your hand. Okay. Claudine, where are we going? 3/2/9/5. If you have the Claudine Stage Girl on screen in your clock, she gets minus a level. On play, you get to look at cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of your Revue characters, add a card to hand. When this attacks, you may choose to give this -2 soul for the turn. If so, it gains 1,500 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. That's okay. I'd rather not do that. Karin Ijo, where are we going? 3/2/10k. Your opponent has a level 3 or higher character. This gets -1 level on hand. 4,500 power, and during the battles involving this, no player may play backup from hand. Okay, she does get very big. This is kind of making me think of it's a particular Shion that Joe likes to run. Karin Ijo last lines 00500. At the start of your main phase, you can top check and put it in either the top or bottom of the deck. When the battle opponent of your other character becomes reversed, choose one of your other Revue characters, gains 1,000. As well as an act, pay 1, rest this. Choose 1 Karin Ijo Stage of Destiny, and it gains the ability. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, you can heal 1. Interesting. Claudine Saijo Gambling Parlor. Just like something out of Kakegurui. 00500. When this becomes reversed in battle, you can pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. Look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Search for up to 1 character, add it to your hand, and put the rest into. That could be a really fun way of fueling up your waiting room for standby targets. Karin Ijo Greetings 0015. When this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent is 0 or lower, you may reverse that character. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Search for act. Pay 1, sack this. Look at up to 4. Search for a Revue, add it to hand, put the rest into waiting room. So then we have a Futaba Dumbfounded. The 0035. Looks like she's wearing a suit. Very nice. When this is placed on stage from hand, if there are 3 or more climaxes in your opponent's waiting room, rest this. And when this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a Revue to draw a card. Okay. Claudine, Sweet Words of the Devil. 1035. Now I'm questioning if I should watch this movie if we have such unchristian-like behavior. I'm just kidding. All of your other Revue characters gain 500, so global 500. Placed on stage from hand, you can choose the bottom card of your clock and a Revue character in your waiting room and swap them. Okay. At the start of your climax phase, you can sack this card to summon a specific rival Claudine Saijo. Claudine Saijo. What the fuck am I talking about? And put it on the slot in your waiting room and put it on the position this was on. So, get to some swaps. Okay. Futaba Budding In is a 1/0/35. So many of these cards feel like they're very low power and that they get buffs for it. It's like kind of weird. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a Revue character, fill the top card of your deck, choose a level X or lower character in your waiting room equal to the level of the revealed card. Climaxes are considered level 0, put the revealed card back. When this attacks, choose one of your other characters, and that character gains 1500 power for the turn. Karen, after the Starlight roll, 0/0/15, start of your Climax phase, choose one of your Revue characters, and it gains 1000 power. When your Climax card with a comeback trigger, comeback. Is that standby? It's the salvage trigger. Is placed in the Climax zone, choose one of your characters, and that character gains. The character opposite this cannot. The character opposite this cannot return to hand, move, or be sent to memory. Interesting. It's just you're staying there. You're gonna get reversed, and that's it. Claudine, Everyone's Future Career, 0/0/2K, placed on stage from hand. Put the top 2 cards of your deck in the waiting room. There's at least one Climax. Choose a character, gains 1500 power. When your Climax is placed in the Climax area, bounce this back to hand and choose a character to gain 2k power for the turn. All right, it's a really good card there. Skills, Claudine, skills over the board. I don't know if they're playing like a board game or something. 0/0/2K. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can pay the cost, which is discard one of 2 particular named cards, a Claudine or a Maya, specific names. If you do, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose a Revue character amongst them, add it to your hand, put the rest of the waiting room, and this card gains 1000 power for the turn. Futaba Isurugi Y. Why? Not even a question mark, just an exclamation point. 0/0/2K. Placed on stage, you can put X cards from the top of your deck into the waiting room. X is equal to the number of your Revue characters. So you could do this to once there's a lot of milling. You can definitely get shit set up. And then when this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay the cost. If you do, which is return 2 Revue characters from waiting room to the deck. Choose a Revue character, it gains +1 soul for the turn. Okay, so you can mill a whole bunch and then send 2 back specifically, like the one that counts as the shot trigger, I guess, or if there was other cards that did the same thing, you could do that. So, Futaba, you should know this, is a 1500 backup. Then when you use the backup, you can reveal a specific name Kaoruko to give that character an extra 1000. So it can become a free 2500 backup if you have that Kaoruko. It is a resonance effect. Karen Aijo, Can't Find the Reason. Sounds like a Sum 41 song. 1/0/25. When this is placed on stage from hand, choose one of your other characters. That character gains 1500 power for the turn. And it's a level 1 reverser. Okay, cool. Karen Aijo, Lines with Feelings, is a 1/1/65. When this is placed on stage from hand, all players perform the following action. If there's 5 or more cards in your memory, choose 4 cards in your memory and put all cards in your memory other than those chosen into the waiting room. When this is placed on stage from hand, if you have 4 or more other Revue characters, you may choose a Revue character in your waiting room and put it into your stock. So it basically pays for itself, and you get to do the memory thing. That could fuck over your opponent. Futaba, Day Before Visitation, is a 2/1. All of your other Revues gain 1000, and when you use an act, choose a character, it gets 1000 power till end of turn. That is once per turn. Claudine, Almost Real Sword Strikes, is a 2/1/65. If you have another Maya Tendo Almost Real Sword Strikes, this gains 2k power. So I'm assuming maybe this last card, or there was another almost. Oh no, Maya was like blue or some shit. When this is placed on stage, you can discard a Revue to summon that specific name Maya from waiting room. Okay. And then we have Reborn Train. I have been reborn. 3/1. It's a climax combo? Okay. Which is the Salvage. Choose one of your characters, it gains 2k power for the turn. Then choose one of the following 2 effects and perform it. Either burn your opponent for 1, or get back the specific I am reborn in your waiting room, return it to your hand. It gets back the Salvage. Okay. Interesting. I'll let you cook. I'll let you cook. Okay. Finally, down to the blues. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do for all those promos at the bottom because my throat is already, like, gone. Fin and Then is a pants trigger. Okay. Another pants trigger is All For You. And then a book trigger is Let's Meet Again on This Stage. So first off is the Hikari. Where we going? 0015. All level 1 or higher characters in front of this gain 500 power during your turn only. And a Brainstorm, Mill 1, rest... hey, Mill 1, what the... I'm reading this too fast. Pay 1, rest this, Mill 4. For each climax, salvage back a character. Okay. Hikari, Have a Good Trip is a 1045 during your turn for each of your other Revue characters. This gains 500 power. When this attacks, if Fin and Then is in your climax zone, which is the pants trigger, you have another Revue character, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, add a Revue to hand, reveal it, and put the rest into waiting room. Maya Tendo, We Are Together. I don't know why there's a dash for like a pause. It must have been like an epic line or something in the show, and they're like, we have to put the pause in there. 3/2/10k. When this is placed on the stage, heal 1. When this attacks, if the other pants trigger is in your climax zone, you can pay a stock, choose one of your characters. That character gets 4,500 power, and the following ability till end of turn. When a trigger check of this reveals a card with the soul trigger icon, you can deal 1 damage to your opponent twice. Okay, so cards like this are the reason they've had like 3 cards that let you top check. Like multiple cards that have said, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order type thing. So you can specifically go, I know exactly when I need to swing with this card or multiple copies of this card. And then you can play accordingly to make certain that you know you're going to hit a soul trigger icon. And you get to burn 1 twice. The only thing for this, it reveals the top card of the deck. And it lets you... Let's see. Sorry, I got distracted because I saw a text message pop up on my phone. Okay, so it reveals the card, but it goes right back. So you know that with the pants trigger, this is going to have... If this goes off, you're going to burn 1, and then this hits for 4. Minimum. So, interesting. I do like that, though. Like I said, it made sense in the end for all of the synergy with the cards that say do the top checking on your end and everything. So, when this is placed... Hikari, Stage Girl on screen, 0015. Placed on stage from hand, gains 3k power for the turn. When this attacks, if that book trigger is in the climax area, pay 1 stock if there's... And if there are 6 or fewer cards in your stock, you may pay the cost, which is the 1 stock. If so, look up to 2 cards on top of your deck and add 2 Revue characters from them to your hand. So, get to fill back up. She still doesn't get that big, though. It's a very much a recurring theme here as I get a water to drink, that a lot of these cards start off very weak, and then they have a built-in effect that just gives them a buff. Why not just have them at that point already? A lot of it just says, like, it gains 1,500 power during your turn only, or 3k power during your turn only. Like, I already clicked off the fucking tab, but that still only got that card up to like 55 or some shit. It doesn't get big at all, and that just seems to be a recurring thing with this. So, all right, now that I've had a drink, Maya Tendo, Where We Are Going, 0015. All this text. Placed on stage from hand, put the top card of your deck into waiting room. If you do, choose one of your Revue characters, and for each soul trigger icon put into on the card that is put into the waiting room this way, that character gains +1 soul for the turn. Interesting. Okay, when this is placed on stage from waiting room from stage, discard a card, look up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, add a level 1 or higher card amongst them to your hand, and put the rest into the... That's cool. Maya Tendo, Stage Girl on screen, 1035. Once again, this is really, really low power to start off. When this is placed on stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Revue, choose a character, it gets 2k power for the turn. Typically, you're going to want to give it to her, so she's at least a 5/5. Then, when this card attacks, if the character opposite this is level 2, this gains 6k power for the turn. And then it just goes right back down to a 35. Sorry, I'm honestly, that's starting to, like, really irk me. Maya Tendo, God's Vessel Revealing All. 3295. If this is in the front row center slot for each of your other Revue characters, this gains 1,000 power. Okay, that's not the worst in the world. That means she can gain 4k, making her a 13/5. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1 stock to make your opponent basically do the Buns for Luck event. They put all of their stock into the waiting room, and then you put the same number of cards from the top of their deck into their stock. Hikari Kagura Reunion is a 3/2 10k. Placed on stage from hand, search your deck for Revue, add it to your hand. And then when this attacks, if the salvage, the I Am Reborn, is in the climax zone, and you have 2 or more other Revue characters, you can pay 3, pitch 1, sack a Karin Ijo Reunion from the stage, and if you do, choose a Karin Ijo to the next stage and the next roll in your waiting room and put it on the slot that this character... Put it in the slot that the character this sacked for the cost was in. So that is like a mouthful and a half. And it just is like, it's a faux restand, but it's like, it's not necessary. I don't know. Maya Tendo, Nature on the board. 0/500. Reversed in battle. Bottom deck reverser for a cost for a level 0. And when this becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 2 or higher, you can rest this. So, Hikari Kagura, Time of Goodbyes. 2/1. It's a 2,500 backup. When you use the backup of this, if you have Passion and Shine, Karin. Okay, Passion and Shine is from the first set. I'm fairly certain that I will look afterwards. Pay 1, pitch 1, choose a opponent's character. It gets -2 soul for the turn. Which, if I remember correctly, Passion and Shine was from the trial deck. I don't know. Rival Maya Tendo is also a backup. 2,500 backup when you use the backup of this. If you have a full field, you can pay 2 stock to choose one of your opponent's characters, the level higher than their level, and put it into their waiting room. Okay. Hikari Aiming for the Gold Medal is a 2/1. Let's see. Placed on stage, gains 1,000 times the number of your Revues. When Battling Performance Revue is placed in your climax zone, if this is in the front row, search your deck for a Mahiro if you can't perform on stage, and put it into your hand. And then if you do, you can put up to 1 card from the top of your library into your stock. Okay. Gets to set up for that later on. Maya, Beautiful Stage Performer, 1/0. Very simple. When your other Revue attacks, this gains 2k power for the turn. Which it doesn't say once per turn, so if this attacks last, your other 2 characters attack, and then she would gain like 4k. But once again, she goes back down to like 4k afterwards. Hikari, Greetings, 1/0/45. It gains a buff, but it's still a fucking 45. God bless. When this is placed on stage from hand, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Search for up to 1 event, specifically events. Reveal it, put it into your hand, put the rest into the waiting room. If you put a card into your hand this way, discard a card. It's like the Asana from the anniversary. And on attack, if you have 2 or more other Revues, this gains 2 power for the turn. It's not the worst card, but just so many cards in here are so weak defensively. Maya Tendo, Searching for the New Stage, is a 2/1/500. All of your characters in front of this gain 500 times the level of that character. Then it has an act to pay 3 and rest this. Choose up to 1 Maya Tendo's Splendid Determination in your hand. Put it in any slot on the stage. It seems a little excessive. Maya Tendo, Almost Real Sword Strikes, is a 2/1/6/5. We saw comboed with the other red card that was Almost Real Sword Strikes. The Claudine. During your turn, if you have that Claudine, this gains 4k. And on play, you get to pitch a Revue to summon that Claudine from waiting room to field. Run, Hikari Kagura, is a 3/2/9k. When this is placed from hand to stage, if there's a specially made gold medal in your waiting room, this gains 2k power until the next end of your opponent's turn. Oh, this was the one that was like... is this the one that you can summon off of that? I don't remember. Then during the turn this is placed on stage from hand, at the start of your encore step, you can heal 1. At the start of your climax phase, if there are 6 or fewer cards in your hand, you can put a Revue character from your waiting room to the bottom of your clock. If so, return all cards in your waiting room to your deck and shuffle your deck. Okay, cool. Soul Revue is a 1/0 event. Blue, rest 2 of your standing characters. If you rest 2 characters this way, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Look for 1 card with a soul trigger icon and add it to your hand. You can. It says 1 card with the soul trigger icon. You could grab events if they had soul trigger icons. Standby, pants, etc. Look at the top card of your deck and put it on top or bottom of the deck. Okay, cool. Ripe Tomato, last card, 1/0. Choose one of your characters. That character gains the following ability for the turn. When this attacks, look up to 2 cards on the top of your deck. Choose one of them, put it on the top of the deck, and put the rest into the waiting room. Put this into your stock. So this builds up some stock, which is kind of nice. So there's a ton of promos. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to look at every single promo, and if anything's worth talking about, I will show it in just a second. So here we go. Okay, so I'm glad I did do the little jump because it's like 20 more cards. Every single one of the girls had a really weird promo that basically had this art in this exact position. I found a backup is a 3K backup with a memory kick effect when the battle opponent becomes reversed. So that's kind of cool. That was the only one in that weird art. And then they had a whole bunch of the ones like this that were like borderless. I thought that was kind of cool. This particular Karin, together with everyone she loves, is a climax swapper, so I thought that was really cool. This particular one was a on-play pitch a climax to salvage back a Revue, and when your other Revue character attacks, this gains 1,000 power for the turn, which is kind of whatever. Once again, it's like borderless. I thought that was kind of cool. And this was a on-play mill 2 forcibly. If there's a climax, choose a character to gain 1,500 power for the turn, and then it has a bounce back to hand effect, so you can reuse that over and over, which is nice. When your climax gets played, you can bounce this back to hand to give a character 2k power for the turn. So if you get that off like multiple times, she can give a lot of power. So I thought that was kind of cool. But there's a lot of promos. I looked through every single one of them, and I probably should have done that for all the other cards that weren't the double rares, but it's whatever. Yeah, okay, so it's weird that the colors got shifted around. There was a lot of girls that were still the same color that they were before, like Nana and Kaoruko were both yellow, but Mahiru got put into green. And like I said, like the color shift is a little weird. So now if you want to like make a deck mostly made off of one particular girl, or GIRAFFE, you have to do some interesting little color mixing. It looked like there were cards that did work with stuff from the first set and the trial deck. I just don't remember the names specifically. I just remember seeing them and go, hey, this is triggering some neurons. I do remember this card name type thing. Overall, the ongoing theme that I had an issue with was the fact of all of the cards start off super fucking weak. Like, just very low stats. Because it's like, during your turn, it gains a buff. If X happens, gains a buff. If you have this other character, gain a buff. There's a lot of them that could just remain big, but so many of the cards just seem to be like, no, we can be very powerful during our turn. The moment our turn is over, we're dead. So it makes me imagine you just have to expend so much from hand, or really, really push into the effects that let you get back multiple cards and fill your hand back up. Otherwise, like, even the cards that, like, the big cards that buff off of each other just get very weak when it's not your turn. So it makes it, I don't know, I'm very conflicted on that, because I liked a lot of the cards in the first set. And yeah, there were some cards that did stuff similar in the first set in terms of, like, power and whatnot. Vaguely from what I recall. And I guess you can still run cards from the Relive set as well, from the game one. Overall, I'm not disappointed by the set. There still seems to be some interesting cards in here. There still seems to be interesting effects. Like I said, there's a standby, there's a choice. That wasn't in the first set. I just did the other Relive one, and I can't remember if that had choice or standby. But it had other card effects. And it had a lot of other interesting synergy with certain cards. I do feel you can do stuff, but it feels like you're really trying to reach for some stuff as well. Time will tell. I could be completely wrong and this be the most broken set ever, but at least at a first glance, it didn't really impress me. So I'm gonna have to say this theater show was not, I'm gonna walk out mid movie. I'm just saying. But with that, thank y'all very much for watching. I apologize for the heavy editing on this, but shit happens. But we will be back soon with another video, and once again, please like and subscribe if you want. If not, hey, cool, thanks for stopping by to check it out. Thanks for sticking with it this long as well. Feel free to join our Discord, and we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.